Hello, Mark Crossfield here. I'm at the Ely Callaway Performance Centre, Carlsbad. We've got Nick here, stood next to his TrackMan. Hello, Nick, ready and armed and waiting. We're going to do some freewoods. Going to hit some freewoods. I haven't hit the Callaway range of freewoods. Going to hit the Callaway range of freewoods, present you some data of why I might choose, or which one I might choose out of the range.
Sure.
And the reasons being. Let's test these bad boys. Let's get stuck in. Right guys, I'm going to start with the Callaway X2Hot.
X2Hot.
The
standard model.
Today.
Exactly
too hot
right.
For golf.
Too hot for someone from the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. So X2Hot Fairway, Freewood. I've got 15 degrees, have I?
Yes, sir.
No changeability on this one. This is the standard one.
Glued in, it's a very standard model, tiny bit of draw bias, tends to create a little backspin, very forgiving, a little bigger, more forgiving head.
Yeah, it looks like a nice big head down there.
It is, a lot of room for error down there, and it's probably placed just a smidge weaker than 15.
Let's hit it.
Give it a rip.
I like the look of it by the ball.
Good.
Does it sit neutral?
It tends to sit just a smidgen closed. You
Looks
got it.
that way in a minute,
Yeah.
yeah. So instantly to me as the better player,
Sure.
that puts me off slightly. I think
Very common among good players.
Yeah.
They typically don't like that look with the face angle.
I do like the big head.
Plenty of confidence there.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's give it a hit, see what it feels like. Cool, hit that well. Hit that really well.
Just dead solid, perfect. So you can see the way the ball curves, where it started, a little right center with a little draw. Did have a little climb to it.
Yeah.
Those numbers there, you swung at 99.7 miles an hour.
Okay.
Your ball left at 149.4, so a 150 ratio. Very solid strike.
Yeah.
We need some solid strikes to see what the club does.
Yeah.
Launched at 10.6, which is a very standard middle of the range launch angle because you're very neutral with your delivery angles.
Yeah.
But about 3,300 spin, 3,341 with the RPMs of backspin you had, which for pure distance is probably a little on the high side.
Yeah, yeah, which would come from this head possibly over some of the other ones we're going to try.
Absolutely. It's designed to be easy to hit the ball up in the air. Spin is one of those components we want to see fair on the high side with that type of golf club.
Yeah, absolutely. So give it one more hit. So, I mean, this club is predominantly designed for someone who wants more help. I wouldn't say I like my freewood from the deck. I'm looking for optimum rather than help.
With your delivery angles, you don't need that much help probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's give it one more hit.
Okay.
Is it longer?
That one tends to be a little bit longer than the Pro models.
Yeah, it feels a bit longer in the shaft. Always worries me that. I know why you guys do that, but it does worry me for control for consumers when they make it.
There's obviously a little bit of a trade-off that you make. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people are interested in creating club head speed, which potentially gives you ball speed.
Yeah.
But there is some fall-off of control, and it's a little bit different for each player, and that's why we encourage people to come get fit.
Yeah,
because we
absolutely.
can find that sweet spot for each player.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's give it one more hit. Cool, that's a good flight again. I mean, it's a little higher than what I would used to seeing a fairway wood, but I think height is what most of you guys are actually wanting from a freewood from a deck. So where this one possibly isn't ideal for me, for other golfers it might actually be, extra height might help them, mightn't it?
I think you actually absolutely nailed it. For a recreational golfer, hitting it off the tee is not that bad. Hitting a 3-wood off the ground is a very challenging shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so loft and launch and spin are some of those things we can do to make that shot a little less scary to people.
Fantastic. So should we switch?
Yeah, I think we should try, let's try the Pro version.
Yeah, well now this one here, so this is the same club, glued, slightly smaller head looking. Is that right?
A little more compact head, a little more of a traditional pear shape. The face almost sits a smidge open.
Yeah.
A little lower center of gravity and a little internal, the CG is more toward, a little more fade bias.
It's a bit shorter, is it as well?
Yeah, typically that's, we fit it for tour pros, especially about 43 inches.
Yeah, okay.
And for the amateurs, a little longer than that.
I mean, instantly this one I'm liking. For me, this is what I'm used to seeing in a fairway wood, guys. Let's give this one a hit. I like the nothing on top as well. I quite like the cleanness of that.
Pros don't like a lot of cosmetics. They don't like us telling them where to line up the ball.
Absolutely,
and so they kind of do that themselves. And so we keep those pretty Spartan on top
clean,
for the pros.
isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Let's give it a hit. Cool, yeah, that's a good flight. It's a much better height for me, that. Visually, that's what I mean, regardless of what the machines, visually that looks better to me.
It's what a better player expects to see, right? You want a reasonable launch angle, but when he gets up to the apex of the flight, you don't want to see it continue to climb. You want it to flatten out a little bit, because a lot of you guys are trying to reach par 5s and 2s, so That spin rate's a good 400 RPMs less, down in the 2900 range.
Okay.
It's a slightly flatter launch. The ball speed was great. I mean, and it went further as a result of that as well.
Yeah, so it went a bit further because that spin came down.
Yeah, I mean, you're comparing, it's pretty significant. I mean, you hit a good one with the standard model, total distance 249. That one was 259, so it was 10 yards longer.
What about carries on those two? Are they any different?
Carries are, on that one, it was 241, so you got about 19 yards of roll, it was 241 carry.
Yeah.
And the other one was 234 carry and out to 249.
It's
So,
241 carry with this one?
yes, sir.
I'm liking that.
Yeah, that worked really nicely.
I mean, the numbers that I normally present, guys, as well, you got to remember temperature's going to affect, because TrackMan is obviously different. My machine I'm using normally in my videos, GC2, is working out distance from the first few 18 centimeters of flight or whatever it is. And in the UK, we get very different temperatures to you. Because, I mean, that's quite long, 240 for me there. I mean, the warmth might have an effect on that a little bit or not. What do you say?
I would say it's a number. It's the weather conditions.
Yeah.
Right. It's the temperature. The engineers, the people that work here, they're way smarter than me. Could tell you the humidity plays a role.
Yeah, yeah.
All these, where the wind's actually going at the height the ball is traveling.
Yeah.
So a lot of different things at play here.
Yeah. Well, that's a good number for my fairway. Let's give it one more hit. God, look at that flight. I mean, it's that one all day for me. Someone who can launch a fairway, that is fantastic. That is just out there.
It really was, and I would say, and again, very similar numbers: a flatter, a lower spin rate, a slightly flatter launch angle, a very nice visually, directionally with the flight. It was great. And for a guy like you, this gives you a number of options. First of all, the long par 5, you're trying to get it up there with a second shot.
Yeah.
You got plenty of launch angle and the spin rate's just right.
Yeah.
And you don't want a driver spin, but
Yeah.
you probably don't want the spin you were getting with the previous club.
Absolutely.
And so you can tee off with it and it actually does really well too. So that so far is really your best selection.
Definitely. Should we try the last one?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that one to me is kind of there.
Hard to beat that one.
Well, it's there in my mind. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't need to hit everything. That's where I want that club to be. Almost.
Once you get to optimum for your individual game, you don't have to look a lot other places.
Absolutely, just hold a few more putts.
Sure.
So what have we got here? This is the Big Bertha, Callaway Big Bertha. Now we have dialed in neck a little bit more on this one.
Well, that's the thing. You have some options with this one. And it's in terms of CG location, how much draw bias, it's very much right in between the two.
Yeah.
And then you also can change the loft angle and you can change the lie angle.
Okay.
So if you don't quite get the launch and spin you want with this, you have some options to set it up a little bit differently.
Okay, let's give it a hit. Very different appearance. Got the blue top with the silver face.
You actually see the paint line there at the face.
You got the line-up line on top as well. I mean, it's a very nice, it's kind of, this is shelf appeal on this one. I almost feel will be better than that one. This is prettier.
Yeah,
but for me, that one's prettier because I relate that one to the performance, not just the look. But I think
that's exactly right.
You know,
I mean, there's a lot of pop to the cosmetics on that golf club, and there's some technology in the golf club.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is a little bit more Spartan with its look, but a lot of better players like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's give this one a hit. Again, this looks like a lot of face down by the ball, pretty easy to hit kind of fairway wood. That's a great shot. I mean, I've hit that well. The thing I like about these necks as well is it gives the fitter so much more options rather than days of them having a free wood and top. I mean, I know it's there for the consumer.
Sure.
But I, as a pro I don't do fittings particularly anymore, but when I used to retail and fitting, you know, getting the right equipment was hard. These necks give the retailer a chance to actually fit people it's really well nowadays.
It's really beneficial in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously before when you had a glued in 3-wood, you know, if it happens to fit you like some of these others might fit you, it's great.
Yeah.
But if you get a guy in that comes in with a different angle and he goes, I have a real hard time with 3-wood, and all you've got is the same 3-wood every single time, then he's kind of limited in his options. Whereas here we can play around with a little bit and maybe find something that'll help the guy.
What were the numbers like on that last one there?
Actually very good. I would say somewhere in between. The ball speed probably wasn't quite as high. You didn't hit it quite as solid, but still very good. You're about 1.49 ratio.
Okay. And
the spin is right in between the two at about 3,100 RPMs.
Okay, let's give it one more hit then. Again, hit that quite nicely. Turned it a fraction left, but hit that quite well.
Yeah, and you can see that one, again, because it has a little more spin than the Pro, you draw it and it still has a little bit of lift at the end there.
Yeah.
Now, again, it ends up being about the same distance as the standard. You're about 249, so you're hitting the Pro farther because of the spin rate. Now, I would add that if you, let's say you like the look and the feel of that better than the other two, we could go -1 in the loft and probably bring that launch and spin down.
Yeah.
So that's just an example of all the different things, all the tools I have at my disposal.
So for me, I'm just going to finish quickly with my preferred. Let's go X2Hot Tour.
Okay.
So for me, out of the three guys, I'm definitely in the kind of cliche bracket. Even if I walked into a pro shop and just chatted to someone, I would probably feel like I'm going to walk out with this one. But obviously I know my game quite well. I hit a lot of clubs, I know my numbers, and I kind of can feel from talking to the guys who make the clubs and build them what I'm going to get out of a club. So for me, it's this one, but it's very much built around knowing my impact, knowing my launch. So for you guys, I think the main thing, like I say in all my videos, just go and get fit and try them. They're all kind of doing a job, aren't they?
You wouldn't hate any of them, but some you'd like a little bit better, for sure.
Absolutely, and I'm liking this one definitely a little better. Lovely flight on that. So thanks to the guys at Callaway bringing me over here. What a great day to test clubs. Thank you for your time. Definitely check these out, guys. If you're looking at a freewood, they are worth a hit. Just go and get fit. Go and try them and see which one suits your game best. Thanks for watching. Post comments and we'll speak to you soon. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments. Love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show. Get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.